live show. Today's topic is Change Master, the master manager for tomorrow's world. We have Thomas Welsh, Sunil, Kumar, and CS Rajiv Bajaj on the show. Welcome to the show, Thomas, Rajiv,
Thank
and
you.
Sunil.
Thank you,
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Prem. It's good to be here again. And this afternoon, we're talking about something which is, I think, a profoundly important skill for everybody in a management or an executive or a director or a supervisor, any kind of management role. And that is to be a good manager of change, a change master. And the reason why I think that's so important right now is because there's so much in the world needs our attention, and it needs the guiding hand, the rational hand, if you like, that's not solely guided by the market or fashion or whatever other forces there may be in the world, but is guided by a more rational approach for what is needed in the world, where we're going, where we want to go as societies, where we want to go as people, and of course where we want to go for ourselves and our families. So this is a really big topic. We're going to talk about three main areas today. Number one is, I think, to be a great change master, you need first to have a fairly high degree of self-mastery. Outside of that, the second main area where you need a lot of capability, I think then, is to interact with other people and to influence other people. So you need social mastery. That's number two. And number three is to create change in the world, which is, a situational skill. We need situational mastery. So those are the three big areas: self-mastery, social mastery, and situational mastery. So in the context that we also know that the Regenesis process itself has a monthly recurring element to it. Each month, we have identified a key area of focus that allows you as a manager, exec, or director, or whatever your role, to actually regenerate and renew the organization you're in, and through that process, take it forward. And we know that change mastery and all of that is the key, the skill around which everything else revolves. So let's dive in to each of the three areas in turn. And what we're going to do is each of us is going to talk to the four qualities in each area. Now, self-mastery has four qualities that we're going to discuss. And the first of those is observe self. The second is direct self. The third is choose his behavior. And then the fourth is has resilience. So they're the headlines. And I'm going to take the first one, and then Rajiv and Sunil will take the remaining ones and walk you through the areas where you need to be capable of dealing with yourself, self-mastery. So here are the, if you like, the domains. Skill number one, or capability number one, is to be aware of your own feelings. Things. So being aware of feelings and managing those appropriately. And to do that, you need to be able to identify what is, and to realize that feelings are not feelings that have probably been triggered from your personal past. You wouldn't know how to feel about a thing if you hadn't done it before. So we begin to realize that to have these kind of personal skills, we need to have quite a lot of self-awareness. And the reason why it's important for us to recognize this and try and be in charge of it to a greater extent, is that those emotions affect other people. So without doubt, if you've ever been around a happy person, you're likely to be happy. If you've ever been around an angry person, that's also going to affect you, but not in a happy way. It's likely to affect you in a negative way. So you may not be expressing the feelings, but if you're feeling them, if you're running them in your body, then it's likely they're going to be having some effect on other people. So within all of that, we need to begin to recognize our own strengths and limitations. So I know that I'm very robust in many situations, but there are a few where I know I'm much more prone to become irritated or even triggered with lots of happy thoughts. And that can be distracting from the moment. So, so they are my own personal set of limitations. So I need to be particularly vigilant of my own internal state when I know I'm in a situation where I'm vulnerable to being affected by what's going on in the moment. I also need to be aware or be open trust colleagues and friends, people who I know will have my best interests at heart and will give me feedback. Another important skill to cultivate those kind of friends and colleagues around you. And also, I think it's important to be able to laugh at oneself. I find myself very often doing things that even I find funny. And that helps lighten the moment for me when I'm being given perhaps some feedback where I'm doing something that I know I'm vulnerable to. And it's much easier if I can laugh at that and address it in a good humored way. And then the very last thing, and this is really interesting because in the island of Hawaii, one of the kind of roles in society there is what they call a kahuna. And this is an expert in some field or another. And you can have an expert, a kahuna of boat building, or you can have a kahuna of management, or whatever it is. So, and the key to whether you're going to be a kahuna or whether you can become a kahuna is whether you're willing to take responsibility for how you relate to everything around you. Now, it's a bit of a big ask for a manager to do that all at once, but I do think a good start point to relate to other people. All of those qualities, all of those skills, I believe, are essential to observing self. So, enough from me for a minute. Let's try a different area. Rajiv, could you take the next area, please? Self-mastery, direct self. What would you highlight there?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for that very insightful opening remarks. So, the direct self, I feel, is you have to talk openly about your personal development. You must be very clear about the uh, priorities you have, and you need to align your work with your priorities. That's the key, because sometimes we are all, having blurred vision, and that leads to a situation where we are maybe sometime going haywire and going bizarre. But it is very important that you must be very clear about what are your aspirations, and that of your organization as well. And accordingly, you must have that responsibility and accountability, which is the key element. And of course, one should not be mean enough to not admit the mistakes will definitely happen. So you must actually, in such situation, if there is a mistake, you must have the courage that you can admit that uncertainty or the mistake which has happened. And your talk and your words and whatever you are actually executing should be matching with each other. And one must be very open about the issues, and you must be very clear what is the issue which needs attention, and you must talk about it very openly. That's what I feel.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you. Sunil, uh, sorry, I interrupted you. You're going to go in there.
yeah. So Thomas, I think both of you have given very brief and I think very good insight regarding the self mastery of two components, that is self awareness and direct self. I personally feel that there are two more important area which is very important for self mastery. The first the one area I will talk, that is behavior. So manager has to choose the behavior how he has to behave. As per behavioral theory of leadership, which advocates that leader require to self-aware of their behavior to increase their team's productivity and morale. He should know that how he behaves in what circumstances and in what is the right way to behave. And I personally feel that rather than focusing on person's natural leadership attributes, behavioral leadership theory also approaches leadership as something that can be learned, that can be maintained, that anyone can learn and to become an effective leadership. So this is not that is something come inherent, something is basically natural, but at the same time, when you are becoming a leader and when you are leading a team, that point of time it is very important that you should know how one has to behave. So if and that is one thing that can be learned, that can be acquired, that a skill can be developed. This is not that that will come naturally. Just like this is not like this. People has to learn, people has to acquire. I have seen in my 30 years of professional career that people have changed, people have learned how to behave in different circumstances. So that is very important. There are basically four behavioral leadership style, as we all know. This is directive, supportive, participative, and achievement oriented. In directive behaviors, leader is very clear and they provide clarity and they coordinate the things. In supportive behavior, leader should be approachable. So anybody can come to them, anybody can discuss, anybody can give suggestion. Anybody, if they are feeling low, if they are not motivated, they can contact. So their door should be open for all the people. So that is very important. Participative, that is also called democratic, that involves, this means that type of leadership, it basically involves employee in decision making. And the fourth and most one important leadership style, that is called achievement oriented, that foster growth by setting challenging goals to employee and ensures them to cultivate an attitude of continuous improvement. Each style is having its own merits and demerit or drawbacks, but leader can utilize aspect of each style to become a successful leader. And I have told before that it is not something which can't be acquired. People should know. Leaders should know that what is the circumstances in my organization right now, in my team right now, and how he has to behave. He should be directive, he should be supportive, he should be participative, he should be achievement oriented. So all these four aspects is very important. The only thing is when they have to behave in what way, that people should, that leader has to identify, and then only he will be a successful leader, then only he can add value, then only the organizational growth is possible. Some of the behavior which a leader should mastery of: stay calm, objective, and positive. The leader should be a good listener, so that should be listening ability should be there. Leaders should always welcome new ideas and different ways of doing the things. This is, I personally feel this is most important in today's age. Why? Because every day there is new changes happening. And if you want to survive in the business, you have to find new way of doing the things. You have to improve your product, you have to improve the service, the way you are providing the service. So the disruptive, so challenges, the organization has to challenge within the department, within the organization. There should be some challenges, that whatever way we are doing, whatever way we are thinking, is there some better way for doing this? So that disruptive way of thinking that promotes innovation, and outcome is improved product and services. That is required for today's organization. So this is again this depends on leadership, that he's welcoming that new ideas or not. He's promoting that ideas or not. He's giving that a space to their employee or not. He's giving that room to their subordinates or not. So we have this leadership has to choose how to behave for best possible outcome. They have to respond well to unexpected. So suppose some unexpected thing has happened. That is a time I will say the leadership test. So they have to behave in right way. They have to respond in right way. Leaders should go off unwanted feeling, have big hurt. If something has happened, they should forget that. They should always go for the bigger goal rather than nitty and gritty, whatever is happening in day-to-day activity. Leaders should also intervene and make contribution appropriately. That is also very, very important. So when they have to intervene, when things should not go haywire, that is the time when everybody requires that leadership intervention. And that intervention is very, very important. But here one important thing is that if intervention is required, then only he should intervene. If it is not required, unnecessarily leaders should not drag into it. I think we all know that in MAF any Inspire Greatness, they have always explained that how to motivate employees with a simple, repeatable, scalable process. That is how a leader inspires for the greatness. So I will say that as far as behavioral theory of leadership is concerned, by saying and by observing and by evaluating a leader's action, behaviors, their responses regarding a specific situation, one can determine what kind of leader they are. So the behavior component of leadership can be acquired. Behavior component of leadership can be developed, and a successful leader has to adopt, has to learn those things, that how to behave in a different situation. The second aspect what we are talking, that is resilience. So leader must has resilience. Life will be always full of high and low. The curve will not be straight. It will be always, low and high. So the ability to be happy, successful again after something difficult or bad has happened. So that is very, very important for the leadership. Leadership not go down if the situation has become bad. And believe me, I have seen that when a lot of company, when there is a basically some economic crisis or something has happened, so during those times some of the organization has come strong, because they have used that time to revisit their system, their processes, their inefficiency within the systems, and they have come strong. That they have taken that as an opportunity. So there are a lot of good fortune hidden in any unfortunate event. So leaders should be prepared for that. Leaders should always believe in this a statement. This is a statement, but this a statement is very strong a statement. And leader has to believe in that. That if something bad is happening, it may be happening for the good. And if leader will believe in that, the team will believe in that. And the team will come strong even in bad times. And we all must have seen that the leader who behaves in that way, that organization comes strong even after downfall. We have seen a lot of case studies there. There are a lot of organizations where I've seen Tata Steel in, I think, 2000. Tata Steel was in very bad phase, and they have given this consulting job to McKinsey, and McKinsey has done a wonderful job, and they have come strong. They have removed all the inefficiency within the system, and today we know that Tata Steel is a great company. So that is how leader has behaved that point of time. The future will depend on that. So it's very, very important that how leader is behaving in during those situations, those circumstances. So behavior of leadership in those circumstances is very, very important. And leader must have resilience. They must believe that if bad is happening today, it may be happening for something good. Yes, Thomas.
Okay, thank you. That was a very helpful kind of walk into also taking this into the real world of work, because it really does matter the way we manage ourselves. So this whole domain of self-mastery is the root of it all, and we need to be very confident that we can do that well. It gives us flexibility, it gives us versatility, and it allows us to lead whatever the situation, the good times, the bad times, or the times in between when life is going on pretty much day to day. It's about being able to choose our behavior and then figure out how to achieve the outcomes and the goals that are ahead of us. So thank you, Sunil. Thank you, Rajiv. I guess the place that we want to with other people. So this is what I call chunk 2. This is social mastery. And again, we have three big areas. First of all, we start with builds bonds. And Sunil's going to take us through some of his insights and takes on the importance of building bonds with other people so that we can gain their commitment. Then Rajiv's going to take us on to part 2, which is in social mastery, it develops potential, because obviously people around us have virtually unlimited potential. We can either take advantage of it, or we can leave it lay fallow in the field and not use it, which would be a bad thing. Or we can come back eventually and then figure out how, when we've inspired people, how we pick them up with their potential and inspire their belief to go and do the great things that are possible. And then finally, we'll come back to Sunil to social mastery, which is build the fourth part, which is builds commitment. And so I'm going to duck out of this conversation now and leave the thing in the capable hands of Rajiv and Sunil. Sunil, I think you're going to start us off.
Yeah, I think, thank you, Thomas. I think this is again one very important aspect, and I love this when we talk regarding the social bonding. So I personally believe that, whatever technological advancement has happened in this world, but nothing can replace this social bonding, individuals bonding. So nothing can replace this till the age we human race is there. So social bonding is important aspect of our life. It is applicable in our personal life, in our social life, in our professional life. So it is very, very important for the leader that they must understand and they must have this social mastery. And when this social mastery we call, this means bonding with all the stakeholders. They must develop a strong bond with all the stakeholders, colleagues, vendors, customers. So this is very, very important, and that helps not only in the growth journey, but it helps in developing organization, leading organization towards excellence. Because there was an age when we were talking that customer delight, customer satisfaction, then customer delight, then we were talking regarding employee first. But why these things are evolving? Because today we all are talking in a big organization, in any organization, that employee first. But why it is so? Because we know if the employee who is working with us, if we are having great bond with them, they will help not only for the organizational development, for attaining the growth, they will also help in serving the customer in better way. But how that will happen? That will happen if the leader is having the bonding with the employee. If the employee is having that mindset that this is my organization, I am responsible for this. So those feelings leads the employee to perform well. Those feelings leads the employee to establish a great relationship with their customer, and when they serve the customer, they know that I am responsible for this, and whatever I am doing, that is going to reflect my organization, and I am representative of my organization right now. So I am owner of the organization, I am leader of this organization, I am going to demonstrate, and I am going to represent my organization. But that feeling, that feeling in each and every employee comes when there is a bonding. And that who is basically responsible to make that bond? The leader. So the social mastery is nothing but the build that bonding with all the stakeholders, with employee, with colleagues, with vendors, with customers. I have seen from my own eyes and I have experienced that there is a company called Subroj. That company has burned. There was a fire in that factory. That company has burned. But the type of relationship they were having with the vendors and some other industry that has helped them to deliver 100% parts within the time. They have not disrupted that manufacturing process, that production process. So that type of help I have seen for my own eyes. But how that has happened? Because the management of Subroj was having that type of bonding with their vendors, that type of bondings with other industry who has come forward, who has helped them to build that. So it is very, very important that leaders should build and maintain healthy relationship with all the stakeholders. They should sustain that relationship and they should help each other. They should help the vendors. They should help the industry in their network. They should open for that. They should build trust and make openness so that trust and openness always helps the organization. They should listen, ask relevant question, and show interest with the employee, with the vendors, with all the other stakeholders. They have to respond appropriately in their verbal and non-verbal cues. That is very, very important. They have to connect with they should connect with others and they should know that what type of care we have to take care. When they're talking with the employees, when they're talking with the vendors, they have to keep himself in their shoes and find it out what is good for them. If what type of behavior, what type of attitude, what type of treatment we have to give them. Recently, I have visited Adani. I was having good relationship with top management, but at the same time, I have met one guy who was basically in purchase, heading the purchase department. And believe me, that person has come to see me off till my car. I was surprised, but he has told me that this is his SOP. When a senior person of any organization comes, then the person has to go and see off to his car. I was so happy to note that how a big organization works in today's time. They believe in this building the bond. And believe me, with that bond, today have developed the relationship that if they required something, I have also demonstrated that there was a machine which was not working, that was not supplied by us. Some other vendor has supplied, but they were facing some problem. They need to start that machine within 24 hours. I have sent my team, and we have ensured that within 24 hours that machine is operational. So that type of bonding is very, very important. It is important in personal life also. It is important in our social life also. And it is important in our business life also. So that is the power of bonding. So this is very, very important for the leadership. When we are talking here regarding this bonding, we at Regenesis, we have developed a process how to go about it. When we talk regarding behavior, we talk regarding resilience. So if somebody is not having those skill set, nothing wrong in that, because we have come in this world with some natural attributes, but there are something which need to be acquired, which need to be developed, and by developing those attributes only, we can differentiate ourselves at workplace, and we can become a leader. We can become a different leader who can succeed in any circumstances. So those skill sets are very, very important. The only thing is that leaders should be always ready to identify their weaknesses. They should always ready to accept that, and they should always ready to improve that. So these are the three important mantra for that. So over to Rajiv, I think for the next topic for the social mastery. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Sunil. Very elaborate, point you covered. But this is the point which I'm very important. I'm very connected with how to develop the potential. So we, as a coach, we deal with lots of people, and we need to actually work on their potential and need to actually tell them what kind of potential they have and show it to them, how they can identify and describe what matters to them. And that is our job to bring it out, when we are, using this social mastery as a tool. So, we need to help people identify and build on their strengths. That's the most important thing. And also support and appreciate, what they are doing, and motivate them to take action. Because sometimes inaction is the biggest problem you are facing, because you know what you have to do, but you are not actually doing what is to be done. And of course, we need to use our coaching skills in our professional practice. That's what I always do, and try and help people with the identification of their uh, disagreements, their conflicts, and what is limiting their potential. Because that's something, if they are aware what is limiting their potential, they can actually explode, and they can actually do lots of positive work. So we actually help people talk about and explore their differences, and of course help people look for and find win-win situation in whatever is this challenge. As you mentioned, there was a fire, this story I can relate to. Because if you have those bondings and you have that connect, you can always find in every challenge a solution. And of course, you need to get people signed up for a common higher purpose, and that's what we believe in Regenesis, to pass it as a tool to them, to make them understand what all they need to look into. And if they improve even 2%, say, every month, the overall improvement becomes 24%. So that's the power of the tool we are talking about. Another point which I'm going to talk about is inspiring the belief. Because the in as a part of the social mastery, sometimes you have those kind of belief in your aspirations, and you are not able to articulate it properly. So we can really help people how to articulate and clarify what are their aspirations. Of course, we help them come up with some kind of outcomes, which they can actually talk about with others. And also, people have to build a step-by-step plan of action, how to achieve their belief, that belief system, how to strengthen that belief system, and how to move forward. And of course, we help people to account for completing their actions. Because sometimes they know what is to be done, but the inaction is the biggest trouble they are facing. So actually, if they have a plan in mind, if they have a very clear thought process how they are going to do it, so that helps them to complete those actions in a very structured way, in a timely fashion. So and of course, we also remind people the reason for highest purpose for the action which they have to take. And recognize and thank people for their contribution. Because that's the very powerful tool which we use. Because if you are thanking someone, if you are motivating someone, if you are actually taking them, in a way, you are telling them that, oh, you have done a good job. So that actually becomes a lot of inspiration, and their self belief becomes very strong. And of course, we need to be flexible and very creative in helping people, and to give their best. We are here to support them. So that's the kind of atmosphere we have to create when we are practicing the social mastery tools. And of course, uh, you know uh, we must carry that with a lot of conviction and passion. And we need to actually be advocate of our team's track record and potential. So that's the way you can actually display to the others what we have to deliver. And that's one of the key elements of the social mastery. So the two tools which I talked about, they are the inspiration of the belief system, and of course how to develop the potential in yourself, and how to work on that. So I pass it on to you, Sunil, for uh, the
Yeah,
next
thank
one.
you, Rajiv. Thank you. Very, very important and very inspiring. This belief and to develop the potential. These are the two important aspects of the leadership. And before I go to the next components, I will say that we are talking regarding the mastery of leadership, and how they can change this world, and how they will be different in this world right now. So the one important thing is in Regenesis, we have developed a tool. With the help of that tool, these components, what we are talking in every aspect, that can be developed, that can be acquired. The only thing is you need a process. You have to adopt a process. You have to go through those processes, how to acquire those knowledge, how to acquire those habits in the leadership. That is very, very important. So nothing is, nobody on this earth has come with all the skill set. First, let me be honest here. Nobody has come with all the skill set. The people have acquired, and the people who have acquired, they are basically the true leader who is succeeding in their professional career, who is succeeding at their personal front, who is succeeding at the professional front, and they're leading the successful company. So for all those managers, for all those leaders, for all those, the founders, I will say that these are the skill set. No, no, not even a single leaders has come with all the skill set, with all the natural attributes. They have acquired those during the process, during their leadership journey. So it is possible to acquire those things. The important is that you need support. The important is you need guidance. The important is you have to follow those processes to acquire these skill sets. So here at Regenesis, we help the people, we help the manager, we help the owner, we help the founders to acquire those skill set, to acquire those attributes in their personality, and that helps to be a different person, a different leader, and a successful leader at their work front. The two components what I'm going to talk, that is build commitment, and I think this is very, very important. And why it is important? Because this is an extraordinarily powerful. But in fact, executive always take it too easily and lose sight of, because they focus on so many things. Finally, sometimes they forget regarding these commitments, the importance of commitment, I will say. But without commitment, you cannot have depth in anything, whatever it is. Maybe relationship, maybe a business, maybe a hobby. So you have to give the commitment. Take the example of Sachin Tendulkar. He has become a successful cricket player. He was not good in academy, but he was committed towards cricket, and that commitment has helped him whatever he is today. So commitment is very, very important. So if you are a business leader, you should never, you can't afford to forget this commitment part. This should be a part of your personality. Commitment is an act, it is not a word. So you have to act accordingly. You have to, you have to, you have your commitment should be in such a form that when you have committed, you must do it. Commitment, in most of the people fail. Why? Because not due to that they lack the desire, but because of lack of commitment. So the failure the one important component of the failure, why it comes, that is lack in commitment. And that becomes that becomes habit. So if you are committed to yourself, suppose you have to develop. Today we are talking that you will be a different, you have to acquire these knowledge. So first, managers, founders, the CEOs, the leaders, they have to give this commitment to himself that yes, I will acquire these knowledge, I will acquire these skill set. And if they will committed towards this with the help of Regenesis, with the help of their self inspiration, with the help of some other coach, they have to acquire these skill set. This is important. But first, commitment from their side, commitment from within, that should come. If that will not come, it is not possible. I think we all know that Abraham Lincoln has once said that commitment is what transforms a promise into a reality. So first, we have to give the commitment, and then that commitment has the power to transform the promise into reality. Commitment is the stuff character is made of. So this is important part of character. Commitment has the power to change the face of things, face of your personality, your relationship, your business. Commitment has the power to develop you as a successful professional, a successful leader, a successful entrepreneur, a successful resource for your organization or for any organization. So commitment unlock the doors of imagination, allows vision, and gives us the right stuff to turn our dream into reality. So that is the power of commitment. Leaders' commitment always shape a business identity, find its strength and weaknesses, establish its opportunity and limitation, and set its direction. So that is the power of commitment of a leader. And believe me, a leader who doesn't believe in this, whatever a skill set they have acquired, we have talked right now, that will not lead to the end journey, end objective. So that is the power of commitment. And either we are talking with our employee, we are talking with our vendors, we are talking with our boards, we are talking with our superiors, we are talking with our colleagues. Commitment plays very, very important role. And that defines your personality. Commitment has that power. We all know, the Facebook was not, I think, the first online social media company. The fact was, it was 6degree, which was the first social media company. But the commitment of founder of Facebook, that I will develop a social media company which will offer a differentiated solution, differentiated or better way of communicating with the people online. That commitment has made this Facebook in 20 years' time. Facebook has started in 2004. In 20 years' time, today, the Facebook is having valuation of 1.3 trillion. That is more than economy of more than 100 countries. 1.3 trillion. That is the valuation of Facebook. So that is the power of commitment. So leader must understand this power of the commitment. So the mastery of commitment is very, very important. I will repeat that whatever a skill set you have developed, if you have failed in developing this commitment hobby within you, you will not succeed. This is the power of commitment. So this is one of the important aspects. And there are a lot of benefits of this. Commitment seeks people views and respond openly. So we should be open. You should ask people for the help. Agree for the clear plan for action. If you have committed to your employees something, you have given some time to them, value their time. Your boss, this doesn't mean that you have committed that you come at 4:30 and you keep him waiting for 2 hours. That That a small commitment is also important. You have committed that, okay, you have done good job and you will get promoted during the next review. You should do that. If you will not do that, people will not believe you. And believe me, this small messages spreads very fast. So that should be a part of personality, that if he has committed, it will definitely happen. So that is the message should go from the corner room of from your office to down the line. That is very, very important. So that is the power of commitment. And I will say, to become a real successful leader, one must adopt this. One must build this commitment habit. One must practice it. That is very, very important. So over to Thomas.
Okay, thank you, Sunil. I think in our journey, looking at this whole area, we are exploring the charge of yourself so you can be your most effective self. That's obviously a good and best practice, because the way we behave impacts the behavior of all around us. We've just been talking about social mastery, and in particular, how you gain the commitment of other people around you to take action, because it is the commitment of the team that magnifies the commitment of the leader. But in order to get that commitment, we have to be very flexible in our behavior. This final chunk is all about, well, why do we bother doing all of this? Why do we bother developing ourselves and the people around us? It's because we want situational mastery. As change masters, as managers, we want to be able to change the ways forward in some deliberate way. So we need the clarity of the outcomes we talked about. And so situational mastery has these four big chunks. One, to be able to, with our awareness and with our support from our colleagues, to get in and assess the situation. And this is much more of a thinking skill. We then need to talk about part two, which is decide how to intervene, because as managers, that's all we can do. How do we intervene to cause people to do the things that create the results required? So that's a really important principle that we need to work through. Part three is going to be building momentum, is how do we, once we started the movement, many organizations fail at this point. They'll start something but don't finish it. So how do we get the momentum going to finish it all the way through and deliver sometimes a lot of work? And then finally, to deliver the results that we intended, the outcomes that we'd intended at the start. So once again, I'm going to ask Sunil to start us off with the first of those, which is assessing the situation. Walk us through some of the headlines quite briefly as to how we do that, Sunil.
Thanks, Thomas. Thanks. I think as far as situational mastery is concerned, this is also very, very important aspects, because when you are leader, all the eyes are on you. So how you behave in a situation, in good time, always nobody bothers because things are happening in good way. Everybody is happy. But if the situation is not good, if the situation is adverse, that is the time when leadership gets tested. Leader get tested. So a leader must have the ability to assess the situation. They must analyze the situation, and they must develop the skill set, acquire a skill set to act accordingly. So that analysis is very, very important. The situational leadership model, as we know, that originated by Blanchard and Paul Hersey, and according to that leadership, they have always emphasized that there are four styles: telling, selling, participating, and delegating. So when team requires close supervision and constant guidance, so you have to analyze the situation. If this is the time when your team requires close supervision and constant guidance, that is the situation when you have to adopt the model of telling. You have to tell them. You have to just guide them. You have to supervise them. But there's a time when the situation is not good. The people are not motivated, their employees unmotivated to perform a task or to do the job. That is a time when leader has to adopt a different model, selling model. You have to sell the ideas, you have to boost up their moral. So that is the time when you have to adopt the selling model. The third model is participating model. When team is competent in part to perform some task, but do not have willingness to do that, or do not have confidence to do that. So that is the time when you have to perform. I will share one of my personal experience with this. When I was vice president sales and service at Every India, I was selling the machine at least two times costlier than with our competition. When I used to tell my people that it is possible, you can do this. Nobody was believing this. I have given some example to them that why they will select our machine. The reason was we are selling one of the most accurate machine in the world. And if the customer has not selected our machine, and if they have selected some machine which with accuracy of that machine is less than us, and even if they are losing 50 kg in one payment, and if they are doing 100 payment per day, and their material cost is 100 rupees, they are losing in lakhs every day, and our machine is negligible. So the power of accurate weighing is that if they will select our machine, most accurate machine of the world, the power of accurate that they will get in lakhs and crores of rupees per year in their balance sheet as a profit. And we have to talk in this term only with our competition, with our customer. We should not go in the bar of competition, bar price war, because what value our product is going to add in their activity, we have to talk that. But people were not believing. So as a leader, my job was to be participative. So I have gone to the field. I have gone in the field with our regional manager. I have made the customer. I have asked the same question with the decision makers who was owner of the company. I have talked to them, and believe me, they have not negotiated the price, and they have given order to us without any negotiation at the same price what we have quoted. Because we have demonstrated, we have participated, and that is given confidence to our people also. So that was a time when we have to participate, we have to adopt that participative model. If being a leader, being a boss, if I used to tell this story, okay, you have to go, you have to do this, success would have not come. Because when our people were going to meet those honors, they were telling only one thing: we will not talk anything. Yeah, we know your price, your product is good, but we talk the price, and they used to show the price of competition. But the moment we have gone to discuss that price, we will not be able to win, because we know that our price is much higher than competition. But what value we are adding, that is much higher than what price we are charging. So that was a time when we have to act as a participative leadership. So the leader who is tomorrow's world, they have to adopt these models: telling, selling, participating. And the fourth, that is delegating. When team is efficient and effective at their job, that requires little guidance. Don't unnecessarily involve yourself. So that point of time, the leader must know that we have to adopt the model of delegation, not participative, not selling, not telling, only delegating. So you have to analyze the situation. That is very important. No particular style is best for a leader. Rather, a leader using a situational style of leadership should always use whichever is the best for that circumstances, for that situation. And that is called this: assess the situation and act accordingly. So leaders should know how well we are doing compared to the best of our kind. Leaders should understand the extent to which there is and isn't a shared vision of the future. Leaders should recognize the habits, behavior, and emotional undercurrents That basically help and hinder our performance. Leaders should analyze the situation, understand the existing formal and informal power and decision making processes and structure. Leader can describe the key cultural and environmental elements that need to change. Leader can clarify the specific measurable ways in which we need to improve. So those bringing those clarity are very, very important. So analysis of situation and behave according to the situation is very, very important. Leader can identify the system and process that will need to be modified, because whatever system and process you have developed, that should not be for indefinite period. The situation will change. Internal environment will also change. External environment will also change. So you have to modify. You have to keep modifying that. This is very, very important. Leaders should progressively bring these issues out into the open so that action can be taken. So those are the small things leader has to adopt, and leader has to make sure that they should act accordingly. Over to you, Thomas.
Okay, thank you. And I think all this is about ultimately how we decide to intervene, which we talked about a little earlier. We need to be clear about describing the overall vision and the broad sequence of interventions needed, because people need to know what to do and how to do it, and it's our job to guide them. We need to check our intentions are aligned with the vision. So all the time, is what we're doing working? Is it giving us the outcomes we want? We might need to gain the commitment of the people around us, and the opinion formers whose support will be important. That might be part of the action. We might also need to intervene in the technical or and to choose the best interventions to deliver each part of the vision. These are all crucial components to build and develop the team around us, and to design and deliver whatever action is needed, and ensure that the effort and resources provide a good return on investment. So all the things that Sunil's just been talking about are all part of the way we decide to intervene, and it's guided moment by moment. Rajiv, talk us through a little bit about building momentum. Once we got the action on the roll, how do we build momentum?
Sure, Thomas. I think this is the most important and crucial part of it, because you have to ensure that all involved must understand and engage in keeping the purpose and values and the vision alive and vital, because that's the key. If you are not able to build momentum, then all the effort which has gone into the entire thing will not be very fruitful. So we must set ourselves some kind of goals which are there in front of us, and we try and convey those goals to the teams also which are around us. We must also create some regular opportunities for the teams to clarify their vision, and also what all they are delivering as a part of their team effort. And also I think it is very important that we must ensure that they have what they need to be successful, because if they don't have those tools in their hand, they may not be able to complete the jobs, or they may not be able to do the effort to build that momentum. So we must actually empower them with those tools. And also I think it is very important that we must have team meetings, we must have one-on-one sessions with them, we must have kind of a performance review for alignment of those goals to what we agreed, and what is the most important thing for us to look at. And also, we must create multiple channels of, say, two-way communication to communicate and celebrate what is being achieved. Because, as I said in my earlier discussion, the achievement and its celebration is the very, very important element of it. And of course, we must predict and plan for challenges and opportunities which are likely to arise out of our actions. And also, we must know what is required for me to lead the change and inspire and motivate others. That's how the change will happen. So over to you, Thomas. I think we are running out of time. Yes.
So in the end, it's all about everything we've talked about as a change master here. It's all about getting things delivered, and delivering those results. So if you would like to check yourself against the list of capabilities that we've walked through here today, then as usual, drop us your email and we will get out the self-assessment questionnaire so that you can check out your own capabilities against this full list that we've been talking through today. And then finally, is to remember that we are here as change masters, and that ultimately is the role of managers, and it's our job to build a better future, and that's what Regenesis is all about. So we hope you've enjoyed today's session. So I'm going to hand you back to Prem now to take us out. Thank you, Prem.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Sunil. Thank you, Rajiv, for being part of the show. We had a great insight on the topic. Uh, Thank you, audience, for being part of the show. Good day.